Hey, welcome. You're the first to join the live stream. Maybe say hello in a comment. I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy. I'm out here with one of my ambassador animals kind of late at night tonight. And this is Icknick. He's our big boy. He's about 150-pound male wolf ambassador. And I've got a big headlamp on, or I flip this around, you can see me, but I'll just blind you with the light here. And we're out here in the mountains on a little nighttime patrol, which we tend to do at night, but not usually quite so late. So feel free to introduce yourself. And if you've got questions about us, you're welcome to post them in the comments. Icknick's name means meteor or fireball in Inuktitut. And he's fully grown at almost 6 years old, about 150 pounds. And he and I are just out here doing what we do at night, which is letting him tour his habitat here a little bit. And for those just joining in here, I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy. This is Icknick. He's one of the ambassador animals at the Tahoe Wolf Center. And we're on a night patrol. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments, and if you have questions about our work, the animals, or anything else like that. That's why I live stream some of these patrols, is so I can share my experiences and educate people about the animals we work with. It's about a little below 0 Celsius or just below freezing here. Welcome, everybody. I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy. I'll give you a quick side shot here. I have a terrible bright headlamp. I'm out here with Icknick. Hey, Fortnite, what's going on, buddy? Welcome, RK. So yeah, I'm out here tonight on a patrol with Icknick. He's my big male. I have 2 big males, but Icknick's the biggest, but not for long. The other one is gonna eclipse him. He's only 10 months old and he's almost as big already. Icknick is an ambassador wolf at the Tahoe Wolf Center. He weighs about 150 pounds. And he's doing a scat mark right now, which means he's gonna put a little scent in the ground here because he smells some unfamiliar dogs. He's probably gonna scrape after he does. And so Icknick here is sort of typical of the animals you would see if you visited like Yellowstone National Park. Yeah, here's a scrape, right? So he's distributing his scent. And I like to say that dogs post messages and wolves post warnings. Wolves are territorial in nature. You may have heard the myth that wolves fight for top status in their family group. This is not true, but they do fight with other wolves over territory from different family groups, just like humans. And so when wolves are in a given location for any length of time, they'll command the territory by patrolling sort of the boundaries of the territory and leaving scent posts. And so that's what he's doing right now, is he's leading me where he wants to go, and he's smelling some unfamiliar dogs. And so he's going to put down his no trespassing signs. And they are really intended as warnings. And if he encountered an unfamiliar dog, well, loose, of course he'll never be loose, he'll be always with me, but the goal for him would be to drive that animal out or remove it as a competitor from the landscape. And that's what they do with other wolves. So wolf on wolf conflict in the wild is the second most frequent cause of death for wild wolves. They kill each other over territory, not family members, but it's interpack conflict, not intrapack conflict. If you listen, hey Furrow, what's going on, brother? And you can hear my other animals are singing a pretty sad song because they're sad they didn't get to come with me on the patrol. And I'm acknowledging my brother Furrow here. So Furrow helped me bring Icknick into the world. Furrow's a fellow wolf expert. And I don't know what the hell Furrow's doing up so late where he's from. The guy doesn't sleep. So we're over here in Pacific time. Furrow is on the opposite side of the country. He's a night owl, even worse than me, I guess. And I keep some pretty late hours if I'm out here on a hike at after 10 at night. It was at 10:26 here, my time. For those that are curious, we are in the Sierras. My house is around 6,500 feet. The mountains out my door go up to about 10,000. On my property here, we're got 5 other ambassador wolves, plus an Alaskan Malamute, who's my companion dog, who has basically been raised by the wolves and making her a pretty unruly dog. Icknick is actually my nicest animal. What's going on there? So for those of you that have never tuned into this live stream, I am Oliver the Wolf Guy. I am the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a nonprofit that teaches people that wolves are super interesting, valuable animals to have on the landscape. And we do that through educational materials, live streams like this one, in-person talks, Zoom events. We're out there trying to support getting people to appreciate these big raw dogs as much as I do, because they're super smart, super interesting, super complex animals, incredibly smart. Wolves, for those that are curious, their brain is about 33% larger than a comparatively sized domestic dog, and they use way more of it. They are problem-solving animals. They don't look at humans to fix their issues. They want to get in the house, they figure out how to get in the house. They want to get in the refrigerator, they figure out how to get in the refrigerator. They keep you on your toes. Furrow can tell you. Furrow has Icknick's brother. And so he knows firsthand just how interesting but also challenging these guys are to care for well. Do I bring a gun with me? Yeah. Who'd you rather keep in America? So, I know I don't carry a firearm. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy that people want to mess with. I mean, I'm not a little man. If you saw me right now, I'm in full hardcore hunting gear with a survival pack. I have a big bush knife on my belt for emergencies. I'm a total EDC guy. Wilderness survivalist. It's not to say that I'm afraid of guns. I just don't have a need to carry one when I'm on a hike with a wolf. There's nothing in this part of the country that's going to attack me in the woods but a human, and that would be a mistake. So, and he's found something interesting here. We're in a kind of a willow spot here, and there's definitely something that's made some trouble. Oh, I see. So this is part of the gig here for me, is I take these animals and let them go where they want. And where he's going right now is not super comfortable for me, because this is like a messed up swamp, but there's fresh tracks that he's on. I'll give you an idea of my attire here. So I'm in, tonight I almost always wear QU hunting pants. They're just the most durable. That's my daily drivers are these pants. They're a lined, semi-waterproof hunting pant. My other boots are wet, so tonight I'm wearing some Kalen ice climbing boots. Oh, hey, don't pull me, you're gonna take me out. You can see us. Oh. Why are we in this, huh, Ick? Really? Every hike is an adventure, even if it's just out my door. I do live adjoining National Forest. What, are you going back out now? Where are you taking me, buddy? You guys get to see some interesting misery for me here. He's pulling me through, like, easy. He usually doesn't pull that much. Okay, we're back out of the hole he was driving me through, which is a relief. Yesterday I crashed on a patrol. I got dragged off my feet and everybody saw me go down. So I use a belt that I've developed over 4 years kind of hard to see under the clothes here, but it's like a weightlifting belt that's been modified with an additional line around the front of it, this part, so they can move around me. And also has a bunch of survival gear strapped to it. And the reason I do that is because if something were to go wrong, I don't have time to go get help, right? Like if he got loose somehow, my best chance of getting him back is to try to stay with him and not lose his track. My animals all wear a FI tracking collar. It gives me real-time location data on the animal. And so that's my like third line of defense, right? The first line of defense is preparedness and relationship. And then the third line is I can figure out where he is from satellite telemetry. But I will say, we'll knock on wood here just to be safe. But I've been walking these animals for almost 40 years. I have more than 25,000 miles of out of habitat with a wolf time in my life now. And I have never lost control of an animal when I've been out of door. Which is the track record I want to keep perfect to the end of my life. Because it's, you know, when your husky gets loose, the neighbor calls. If this guy gets loose, it's the newspaper that's going to call. And I really don't want to be in the newspaper for that. I want to be in the newspaper for good stuff. Message held for review. What is that message? I have no idea. I can't read it. It's in another language here. I don't know. We'll let you show it just to see if you want to talk to somebody there. All right. How smart are they compared to humans? So, I mean, that's a really interesting question, you know, because intelligence, I mean, the problem is that humans always see everything through the anthropogenic lens of, you know, humans and solving chess problems. I mean, I once wrote an article about this actually called The Dumbest Wolf. And what I was postulating is every intelligence is situational for the being, right? Like if you're a fan of like Merlin and the Sword in the Stone, and you remember that Merlin turns Arthur into a bunch of animals so that he can get different perspectives. And so I thought to myself, so I know a lot about wolves. I've spent my whole life focused on wolves. But I bet you that even if I had my whole human brain capability and you turned me into a wolf, I would be the dumbest wolf by far. They'd be looking at me and going, damn it, Moon, right? And so it's very hard to compare, like, you know, is he as smart as a 4-year-old? Is he as smart as a 7-year-old? He's way smarter than any dog you've ever met, way smarter. Even the smartest dogs just aren't nearly as smart as these animals because these animals solve their own problems, right? They, you know, in the wild, they kill what they eat. They choose their partners. They defend their territory. They raise their pups. They deal with injuries and illnesses themselves. And so you've got a supremely perfectly evolved animal to survive in an environment where, I mean, look at me, I'm fully kitted out. I got $1,000 worth of gear on. And if I got stuck out, and I know what I'm doing, right? Like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to make a fire. I know how to get water. And yet, as good as I am, and with all the gear I got, I'd still be suffering and struggling out here for a week or two in the winter in the Sierras, like maybe die. And he'd be like, this is vacation. And you'll see he's actually taking me. I'm not super keen about where he's thinking of going. We're approaching a little cliff here. If he wants to go down, that's fine. But if he wants to go up, oh, Jesus. Like, I really try to let them go where they want. He may turn around here. I am not wanting to scale this cliff. Like, literally, he's taking me up a cliff. How about we not? Help me out this time. I don't want you guys to watch me fall off a cliff. I mean, he's just going to hop up this thing. No, we're not. Come on, let's go this way. Thank you. He's my most easygoing animal, mostly. It still ain't any fun where he's taking me, but at least it's not a cliff. Oh, well, here we go. It's kind of a cliff. And I'm, of course, attached to him and holding the phone. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what he's after. He's making me do this. Oh. He's tracking something. Okay. Those are coyote tracks. No, please don't do that. So now we came up to... What is he doing? So we're at the top of this little cliff here. What do you got there? Oh, there's... What has he got here? All right. Hey, don't be mad at me. I see what he's got. We're on bear tracks, and the bears have got something gross. How about you leave it? I'm going to drag him off of it if I can. Leave it. Come on, leave it. Thank you. This barely can get a leave it out of him. All right. Yeah. It was garbage that had been dragged up here by a bear. And if you listen, you can hear... Let me know if you can hear that. That's the other animals howling. Yeah, well, hey, that's what I was avoiding, right? Was him rolling in something gross. Everyone else rolled in something gross yesterday. I'd like at least one animal that didn't smell like horrible. So, multitasking for sure. Good boy. I'm lucky he's nice. At his size, if this was not a nice animal, it would be very difficult. And I've had some not nice, big, difficult animals in my life, including one in 1992 who I made a mistake. It wasn't him, it was me. I screwed up and he almost killed me. So, no plan to do that tonight. I do a lot of backcountry stuff though, Jeff. Especially in the raccoon and dog. My skunk wolf is, my Malamute is home tonight. I try to walk Icnic by himself because he's so powerful. It's just easier for me to be dealing with a single animal on a line with him. Plus, he's a lot calmer if it's just me and him, and I get dragged around less. Okay, so I'll tell that story in a sec there, Kelly. And actually, if you want to hear the whole story, like fully narrated, if you go to my channel and you look on my saved live events, there's one called something like The Day My Wolf Tried to Eat Me, or The Day My Wolf Nearly Killed Me. And that's the whole story. But in a nutshell, it was breeding season. I was very young. He was my first pure wolf I'd ever had. I did not raise him from a pup. I got him when he was 7 months old from Colorado Parks and Wildlife. They had seized him from somebody illegal and they needed somebody qualified, and I ended up being that guy. And we were doing a photo shoot deep in the woods, and I was trying to get his girlfriend on a leash. He was already on a leash, and I was trying to get his girlfriend, and she wasn't cooperating, and I got frustrated, and she ran by me, and I pounced on her to grab her. And he thought I was attacking her, and he attacked me, and he got a hold of my arm, and he broke my right forearm from my wrist to my elbow in 37 places, fully displaced fracture. They were going to amputate my lower arm. He broke my other hand, all my fingers. He severed my bicep. And if I hadn't been with the right person, he would have killed me for sure. I was with a woman who was a horse expert, and she saved me. Yes, I got very lucky. It was a very interesting lesson. Bye, Ashley. Hey, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, that whole story, that story is on my live. And if you want to read the story, it's in the book I just published called The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. And it's the last chapter in the book called When Things Go Wrong. And I talk about, when you're working with animals and things go wrong, if you're working with your dog and things go wrong. And in my case, that was my big things go wrong story. I have a good story to tell, and lucky to keep able to use both my arms. Jeff had asked me whether I stay out at night, I believe. So I do a lot of backcountry stuff, and I do overnights with the animals, but not tonight. And that's a different kind of a approach, because then obviously I have to have something for them to eat. and something to sleep on, sorta. I usually tarp it with a really high-end sleeping bag and sleeping pad, so I'm not separated from the animal at night. And then my animals are on a aircraft cable anchored to a tree, so they can't, like this rope, he could chew through this thing in about 30 seconds. It's just convenient for hiking, but in my pack, I have a 16-foot cable. And so if I were to get injured, the first thing I could do would be to secure him to something he can't chew through easily. And that way we could wait for me to fix myself or somebody to come get us. And I also carry a pack that is capable of allowing me to put him on my back and carry him if he got injured. I have a special setup. I use a Mystery Ranch Thor jammer, which is designed to carry radio equipment for the military. So it's a very specialized pack. And I modified it so I can put a wolf or a dog in it. Basically, I strapped him to the back with a sling. And I'm just strong enough I could get out of the woods using trekking poles with that pack. With this guy, everyone else is easier, but he's just huge. And he's just posted more no trespassing signs here. Well, it's a job to think of everything. Yeah, they're incredibly strong animals. Like the bite strength is, before Jake, the animal's name was Jake. Before Jake attacked me, I thought I knew how strong these guys were. But when he attacked me, I had an out of body experience, and part of my brain was like a drone watching the whole thing happen, and that voice in my head was like, "Wow, he's way stronger than you expected, isn't he?" Like, it was unbelievable. I mean, when he first bit me, I didn't even know what happened. It happened so fast, and the damage was so serious that it was like I got struck by lightning or hit by a car out of the blue. And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm being attacked by my wolf." What do we got here? How much does he weigh? Does he get along well with others? So yeah, he weighs about 150 pounds, which is very, very big. Like, people sort of don't know how big these guys are. 150-pound animal of his type is exceptionally large. To put it in perspective, the largest wolf that they've ever weighed and in Yellowstone with the wolves that they're monitoring with that project was a 147-pound animal, but they estimated he had 14 pounds of meat in his belly at the time they weighed him. And when we weigh Icknick, it's at a vet visit. And so we fasted him the night before so that if we have to sedate him, he's not going to throw up or anything. And so that's 150 pounds of raw weight. And he's crazy powerful. I mean, he's much, much stronger than me. Much, much stronger. And you can see I'm letting him make a lot of decisions right now. My approach when I am out with these animals is basically the first 50% or more of the excursion. My job is to just keep him out of trouble. And so if he's going somewhere I really think is bad, I'll get him to change direction. Or if it's really bad for me, like a cliff, I'll try to not do that. And then at a certain point, I'll be like, okay, it's time to go home. And then I'll start trying to make decisions that get us back towards the property. And if I'm smart about it, he thinks he's made all those decisions. And then we end up home. But he's still making all the decisions right now, because I wouldn't go this way if I was in charge of it. But he's following, looks like some either very fat skis or some very weird snowshoes. So I'm originally from Colorado, and we are currently in the Northern California Sierra Nevada mountains, kind of near Lake Tahoe. And for those of you that want to support the channel, got some little things I will throw in there for you. The first is that if you join the channel and you get me, I'll give you information to connect with me directly, and you give me your mailing address, I will send you a little Wolfie gift, something you won't be able to get pretty much anywhere else. And the other thing is that if you get me your actual email address and you have requests for photographs of the animals that we work with, I will create a Dropbox folder just for you, and I will upload super high-res images that are good for like large format prints. So that's a couple of the things you could do if you want to support us. If you want to really take advantage of my knowledge, buy my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. That book is available on Amazon. It's on the Kindle for $9.99. The paperback is a little pricey. It's $29, but that's because it's got 100 full color photos, and you can't make a book like that cheap. Oh, he's putting me through my paces tonight. So I'm wearing a 35-pound survival pack, and he's on ski tracks. We live kind of near a resort, and people ski off the resort, and that's where he's taking me right now. And of course, I'm busting through the snow while he's right on top of it. This is pretty brutal. If you hear me getting winded, I'm climbing a mountain with a 35-pound pack attached to a wolf in the dark, punching through the snow in my boots. So that maybe explains all of it. Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. That's really cool. I appreciate that. So what you should do is if you join as a subscriber, I will send you a message with an email address where you can reach me directly. And from there, I can take care of you. So yeah, there's a feature for the paying subscribers on a channel where I can just message you guys directly with a post. And so I'll share a post with you that has everything you need to know to hook up with me. Oh, okay. Just figured out what I'm walking on here. Somebody went up here with it looks like it's a moto sled, not a ski-doo, but a motorcycle with a snowmobile tread. That makes sense, because you wouldn't go up here with a ski-doo. Oh my gosh. And he's really pushing me tonight. I'm trying not to let myself get overheated either. All right. So it's probably, hey Ethan, it's probably about 25 right now, Fahrenheit. So it was like -3 centigrade, something like that. It's not that cold. I'm more worried about overheating and then getting cold, right? Like I always am thinking about the next thing. And the next thing is if I'm too hot and I get hurt and now I'm immobile and cold, which is way more dangerous. So I always try to modulate by like opening up my jacket if I'm climbing a hill like this, or opening vents. Please don't roll in it. Nope. Try not to roll in it. Don't do it. Come on. You're too handsome. Don't do it. He wants to scent roll in something gross. I'm trying my best to prevent that. It looks like I was successful. And so what we're going to do here, this is this old derelict water tank. Super cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to crest this slippery ridge, and then we're going to cut back along the ridge towards home. We're still a ways away. So I got about another 150 or 200 vertical climbing. We're in California. I know, it's so ridiculous how little snow we have for we're sometimes up here we have what they call a miracle March, where we get 20 feet of snow in March. I really hope we get more snow, because there's not enough snow here right now. Ordinarily, folks, you couldn't see any of this vegetation. I'd be snowshoeing on top of about 10 feet of snow. And I am not all that far from, if you know the story of the Donner Party, that were pioneers trying to make it to California, and they got stuck in the high country in the Sierras in the winter, and they ended up eating each other because they were starving to death. I'm not that far from where the Donner Party ate each other. So that gives you an idea of the kind of winters we often have. Got some good stars out tonight. It's very clear. It's mostly clear. See you later, Jet. Thanks for tuning in. Does Haiti get cold? No. These guys, they're insulated from minus 70 degrees. It never gets cold enough. Yeah, he's got an idea that I don't like. So we're going to pause. So you'll see that I don't try to, if he wants to go somewhere, he's going to try to pull me. And I'm just going to sort of gently resist. And then I'm going to try to encourage him to go the way I want to go now. Because we're at that point where there's a bifurcation. Can we go this way? And most of the time, unless he's really hell-bent on going somewhere, I'll be able to get him to cooperate with me. Let's go this way. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, buddy. Every once in a while, we'll end up at an impasse for a while, where I just have to kind of hang out and be stubborn. But he's a super cool friend. My philosophy with dogs and with these animals is that these are my teammates. They're not my inmates. So we're collaborating. My approach is not domination, because it ain't gonna work, right? I'm kind of like his dad or his mom. And, he doesn't want to eat his dad or his mom, but he doesn't always agree with them either. But we're gonna top out here and walk along the ridge. And luckily, he sort of agreed with my route selection here. Thank you so much. Well, they're my family. I have no kids. It's me and my wife and our animals. And our mission is, first and foremost, to give them the best possible life, no matter what it takes. And then secondly is to share our new understandings of what we do with the world, so that people are better informed about wolves and hopefully advocate for their recovery, because we need more wolves. We need less cows and more wolves in our public lands especially. Whew. Beautiful night. I just topped out at a ridge. If I cover this for a sec, you'll be able to see the clouds and the stars rather. Camera doesn't do him justice, unfortunately. And I'm going to try to get Ignic to go over the top here. Come on, let's go this way. He's kind of resisting. And yeah, when I'm live like this, you're seeing real, legit animal handling. I've got an animal that's as big as me, is stronger than me, has his own mind, may not like my decisions. And so you're going to see examples of how I work an animal as a ostensibly professional animal handler, right? So you'll hear my squeaky, high-pitched voice. That's the best way that they interact. You'll see me be very, very patient. And now he's redirecting, which is what I was hoping for. Now we're going to top out the ridge. And now we're going to link up with another game trail here. And he liked my idea, so he's not trying to go a different way. And I gotta readjust my headlamp here. Now he's trying to redirect the opposite way I really want to go, but we're gonna, hopefully, this is a fresh trail here in both directions, so he maybe isn't too picky. Icknick, let's go this way, come on, good boy, come on. Cool. And he's still putting up his no trespassing signs. We do need cattle to eat, but wolves, so, I mean, I could talk to you for hours. I come from a ranching family. The whole thing about wolves killing too many cattle is ridiculous. The thing that kills most cattle is birthing incidents of respiratory disease. Wolves kill 0.02%. It's not, I mean, and every time a wolf kills a cow, we kill the wolf. It's ridiculous. Like, you know, so that's, you know, the other thing that people are going to say is, oh, they're decimating the game herds. But wolves and their prey species have coexisted for millions of years. And there's plenty of elk, there's plenty of deer, there's plenty of moose, there's plenty of caribou. And it's because these animals exist in a balance with the food they eat. And actually, in the states where there's more wolves for pets, more cattle for meat. Wolves are terrible pets. Ask anybody who works with them. Ask Furrow. He's here. Furrow works with wolves. He'll tell you. Wolves keep game herds healthy, especially right now. We've got this problem called chronic wasting or zombie deer disease, and the only thing that slows that down is wolves. So if you like, and I'll tell you, epidemiologists, right? I mean, people that study this stuff for a living, some of whom are my friends, agree with me that if we don't get that serious problem under control, it is going to cross the barrier from wild hooved animals like elk into cattle and sheep. And that will be a nightmare of such epic proportions. I mean, if you like burgers, you should love wolves, because wolves are the one thing that is going to prevent that disease from getting into domestic livestock. And once it does, I mean, you guys might remember a few years ago, we had an incident of mad cow disease. We killed 800,000 cattle. So yes, definitely companions. Well, it's up there. Hey, welcome, Wild. They're my family members and companions. And actually, hold on. Icknick, wait. Oh, he's gonna drag me for a sec here. I was pausing because the other animals are howling and it's calm here and you can hear it. When he stops here, I'll step on this for a sec. They just got quiet. Oh no, here we go. I love elk steak too, man. I eat mostly wild game, right? I'm not opposed to hunting. Wolves hunt, I do too. I'll have a skinning contest with just about anybody, because not only do I skin for myself, but I also break down the roadkill that we harvest for these guys. So I'm no stranger to a knife. My profession, I run a nonprofit and I'm a writer. And my wife and I own a restaurant that she runs. I'm doing my profession right now. I'm talking about wolves and hanging out in the woods with one. Oh, they do that. Right now, it's really complicated because it's breeding season, so everybody's trying to mark everybody else's territory. And so since we have one of our animals who does sleep indoors, she's my old lady who's 14. She likes to be at the house. We let her at night. And then the young girls will come in the house and they'll see where she was sleeping and they'll be like, oh, I got to reclaim that spot. So they'll pee on it. One of these days, I have a secret formula that actually gets rid of. So wolf pee, by the way, smells like cat piss on steroids. It does not smell like dog piss. And so over the years, I figured out a formula that actually gets rid of the smell. It's amazing. And at some point, I'm going to start selling that because it's way better than Nature's Miracle. And it's all natural. It smells amazing. It'll probably be a best-selling product. Well, they all see me as dad, so I'm not too worried about that. The only animal that could unalive me possibly is the one we just rescued, because I got him a little later. He was a few months old. Well, he was 6 weeks old, which is old for when we usually get the animals. And he's he's a very primitive animal, and so who knows? But so far, he's super cute and nice. That's, if you look at my channel, that's the one who is just ridiculous. He's a puppy. People are calling him Moon Moon because he's like a ridiculous wolf. He's just very silly. He likes to lick the window. So yeah, he's kind of a window licker. How did I get into this? Funny but true story. As I might have mentioned, I come from a ranching family. We were the largest beef producers in Colorado. At any time, we might have had 50,000 head. It was my granddad and my uncle's business. So I grew up, dealing with that stuff, right? Like I like to, people are like, oh, you guys are all bleeding hearts. And I tell people, well, if there was a steer with a name, that was the one we were taking care of special because it was ending up our freezer. So I came from there. When I was a really little kid, my mom read me a children's book called A Wolf of My Own. It's about a little girl who gets a puppy and imagines it's a wolf. And I was like, nope, I don't want a puppy, I want a wolf. And I was just like, when you grow up in that kind of environment, you're like, just get super practical. And I was like, okay, if I really want a wolf, I got to understand what a wolf is about. And I just started studying it. I figured out that there were some people in Colorado at the time who were raising wolves because they were afraid they might go extinct. And I figured out who they were. I convinced my mom to take me around to meet these crazy old dudes. And I look back now, and I was driving around the country to meet my future self. I look just like those old guys. And when I met them, I just volunteered to mainly to clean up wolf poop and learn about wolves from old timers that had wolves. And from there, I studied wildlife biology, specializing in carnivore ethology, mainly wild canid behavior. In my third year, I got in a fight with everybody in the industry pretty much because I was opposed to some of the management decisions. My professors told me they were throwing me out of my program because I'd pissed off all the people that would possibly hire me and they didn't be responsible for that. So I'm in California, luckily. And there's been some wolf poaching in Colorado, but we're going to find those guys and they're going to do hard time. There's a $100,000 reward for the people that poach those wolves. And people are going to get them. Somebody's going to talk. Soon, $100,000 is too much money for everybody to keep their mouth shut for long. And when we find out who it is, we're going to make an example of them. But I do get death threats. The people that give me the death threats the most are the ranchers and the people that are, what I would call unethical hunters. Because a lot of the time, the people that are into wolves are like less like me and more like, New York City. And so those guys are like, you want wolves? We'll let them loose in Denver. We'll let them loose in New York City, you city people. Right. And they just completely marginalize them because they can. Right. They're like, you don't know anything. You don't deal with wolves. I'm their worst enemy. Right. My family's ranching operation was much bigger than any of theirs. And I've spent more time in direct proximity with wolves, both captive and wild, than all but, captive wolves, I don't know anybody that spent more time. And wild wolves, there's a few guys, but I know them all. It's all I've done pretty much with my life. And so they hate me the most because, of course, they can't crap all over what I have to say. They can't tell me I don't know anything because, they could try. Yeah. You need $100,000 for a new truck. Yeah, well, go to Colorado, start friending up those guys that are in the Colorado Wolf Tracker group. Take them out to a couple of strip clubs, buy them some buds, and somebody will probably talk to you, and then you can get your new truck. But I recommend against the Cybertruck. We see those things wrecked up here all the time. Like they're not great in this environment. Here, you guys want to see something cool? Hold on a second. So you see these tracks going up the hill there? Kind of weird looking tracks. They're like springy tracks. So what you're seeing there, I'm going to take off my glove and zoom it for you. See that? So what that is it's a coyote that's hopping up the hill in the snow. And so it's bouncing up the hill, and you're seeing the 4 feet as it leaps instead of running, right? And I know because I'm used to looking at that stuff, but we could also see the 1x1 tracks leading up to that. And it's like he was trying to pounce on something. And so there's multiple little indentations there. Let's see here. So last time I took Icknick this way, and by the way, for those of you that are curious, we got a bunch of people watching, so I'm very quick. Sorry for the lamp here. I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy. I'm the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a nonprofit that educates about the value of wolves and other native carnivores and keeping landscapes healthy. I'm out here tonight with one of our ambassador animals. This is Icknick, I-Q-N-I-Q. And Icknick, his name means meteor or fireball in Inuktitut. I use First Nations language to name my animals. He's about 150 pounds. So that makes him a very large animal. He's super powerful. He's a fully mature male. And we're coming up on, I may have to put my phone in my little chest pouch for a second here because we're coming up. And see, here's more of this coyote tracks. And now you can see the tracks. Here, let me just show you. So he's going the other way. From right there. And the difference in size of the tracks is just huge. Like, Icknick's feet are like 5 inches wide almost. Like, here's his tracks are just giant. And I am going to try to... Can we go down this way? He's kind of got his head to go that way, but I prefer to go this way. It's getting very late. Come on, let's go this way. And just so you guys know, a little dirty secret about Oliver the Wolf Guy. So I've been married 23 years, and I don't know how my wife has put up with it. I am not a normal, regular, sane person. Kind of, that's obvious. But about once a week, she's like, I'm through with you. I've had it. You're just too crazy. I'm tired of this. Right? And one of the reasons is because, she doesn't know when I'm going to end up dead in the woods, mostly. It's sort of stressful. She doesn't really dig it when I'm out late at night. Tonight I have a pass because I was helping sort out some bookkeeping misery, which I didn't like too much, but had to do. So I got a pass tonight. And luckily, it looks like Icknick is cooperating tonight. Last night, or a couple nights ago, we were out here, and he did not want to go back this way. And it took me about 45 minutes. Why get a wolf? So I fell in love with wolves when I was a kid. I was just absolutely fascinated by them because my family history was we hate wolves, we shoot wolves. And I was like, why? And the more I learned, the more I found them to be just an amazing, interesting, beautiful, social, smart animal. I guess I love dogs. I wouldn't have written a book about raising dogs if I didn't. I'm the author of the Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs, which you can get on Amazon. And wolves are the purest form of dog, right? Wolves are the dog. I got to be a little quiet here. I'm coming near some cabins. I don't want to wake up people. But wolves are the purest form of dog. Wolves are the dog that nature, evolution, God, whatever you want to call it, created without human intervention. And my desire to understand that form of animal has provoked me to just want to deeply, deeply understand the species. And living with them, interacting with them, working with them day over day for many years has been the most interesting thing in my whole life. I'm a guy that learns really fast, and I'm a super curious man. And I don't know what he just got out of the ground there. Come on, let's go. And the only thing in my whole life, like I've learned entire careers and industries. I'm just one of those guys who can teach himself stuff. And so like I've been a CEO of a weed company. My wife and I run a restaurant. I've built several pretty complex building projects as my own contractor, even though I'm not licensed. I know how to work on stuff. Like ranch kids kind of learn how to do everything. And I just like to teach myself. But the only thing that I've never been bored for 1 minute of my life is these animals. I wake up in the morning and I go out the door and I'm stoked to be out there learning something new. I go on a hike like this, and I've hiked, and he's gonna want to go the wrong way here. We're gonna have to, come on, let's go this way. He's been super, super cool this evening with working with me on where we're going. I've never been bored for 1 minute, right? I mean, I've picked up more wolf shit than anybody in the world, I'm sure. And I'm never bored with it. There's something about how interesting and smart these animals are that has just kept my attention in a way nothing else could. And it's a complex thing, right? They're socially complex. Humans have issues with them. Yes, coyotes are absolutely God's dogs also. I love the tricksters. We have tons of coyotes out here. That's one of the things that's going to cause my wife to divorce me, is when people start bitching about coyotes on Nextdoor, I get in fights and then she gets real mad at me. But somebody's got to stand up for the coyotes. They're super cool. They're just basically micro wolves is all they are. Got a car coming up the road here. I got to be mindful. That was just my neighbor heading home. All right, come on. Everything, always exploring. Message held for review. You know, it really depends on what you're feeding your animals. Our stuff doesn't usually smell too bad, but it's because they're eating a raw diet, right? If you feed your dogs a raw diet, a proper raw diet, their poop should hardly have a smell. It should be small, black, look like wild animal poop, and hardly smell. The problem is that they put a bunch of stuff in commercial dog food that actually is supposed to make the poop big, because people think that if the poop is big, the food is better. I don't get that, but that's... My brother and his wife are professional photographers. They worked at a lot of dog food companies, and one of the dog food companies was like, yeah, they put stuff in there for that. My brother's like, that's so gross. And we got some people over here. Icknick is very timid with unfamiliar people. You see, he's like, nope, we don't want to go that way. Now we're going to take an alternate route to avoid it. Come on, let's go this way. We can cut through the woods again. So these are more coyote tracks. And the way you know that that's a coyote track versus a dog track, even though the paw print is very similar, is see how it makes a straight line? There's not, so wolves, coyotes, and foxes do what they call single tracking, which means that their rear foot falls in their front foot track. And so you don't actually see all their footprints. And so their track line is a straight line versus double prints. Yeah, your poor girl. Gotta get her to start eating chicken and stuff if she can, furrow. Our Malamute eats just like the wolves, only she also really likes fish. We joke, we call her the fish-eating dog, because we eat a lot of fish at home, and when we're eating, she's standing there going, give me my fish, I want my fish. Yes, Adam, he is. So they'll work with you on a leash if you get them used to a leash when they're very young and you're very patient. Like if you think you're going to drag them around them or make them go everywhere you want, you're going to be surprised. But I've been, my expertise is this, right? I've got, everybody's done something a lot, but very few people have spent as much time with animals like this out of their secure habitat on a leash as me. I have at least 25,000 miles of tracked time, because I track everything with an app. Yeah. So I don't know how many miles I have before I had an app. And we're just trying to work our way gradually back down this little area. What? Oh, and it looks like we got a coyote. Yeah. Oh, guys, check this out. Remember I told you we were on a coyote? There it is. That little coyote. And all my wolves are howling, but that's a coyote, a wild coyote. You guys are so lucky. That little coyote is just 30 yards away from me. Isn't that cool? I love coyotes so much. They're such interesting animals, and he's not even a little bit afraid of me right now. He's like, I can disappear anytime I want. And Icknick is going to see him. Our guys don't care that much about coyotes. They're just not that interested. Let me unzoom here. You guys who were tuned in for that got really lucky. I see a lot of coyotes, but I don't always see them when I'm live streaming because we're not talking. Of course, that sends them running most of the time. I hope you guys were able to see that on me. So is he the alpha male? Sorry, I'm trying to read some of this stuff. It's a little tricky for me here. Hold on a second. I don't want to crash. I also want to make sure that Icknick doesn't decide to take off after the coyote or something and drag me for a ride. Wolves howling now. We're very close to our property. Let's see. Yeah, the coyotes here are super chill. So Adam, I mean, this whole alpha thing is kind of a mistake. Wolf family groups, the dominant animals are just mom and dad. So in that regard, I'm kind of like the alpha male, but that isn't how it works. Like, nobody's fighting to be top dog. Wolf families are really good to each other. They're friendly with each other. And I mean, he's the biggest, strongest animal for sure, but the real boss of the animals is actually my 14-year-old female Arctic wolf. And everybody's afraid of her. We call her Princess Bitchy Pants. What is going on there? It's so loud. So we are just coming up on our property here. You'll be able to see the lights of my fence in just a second here. Super weird. Icknick. I think he's got wind of the coyote now. He's looking up the hill there in the dark. And they see way better in the dark than we do. Way better. Come on, let's go see our people. So when I get back to my property, I've got a little complicated thing I got to do, which is my females that are both in heat right now, who really would love to be with their boyfriend Icknick here, who's the handsomest man in the world as far as they're concerned, are going to mob us. And I cannot let him off a leash because I don't want to have puppies. Consequently, I'm going to have to keep him on a leash and move him through into the second part of the habitat. Come on, let's go. Let's go see our people. So when I get there, I'm going to put the camera in my little pouch. So I have my hands free to handle everything I'm going to have to handle. You're going to see a lot of action and chaos. So if you're still on here, it's worth it. We're about 3 minutes from this happening here as I bring him home and in. Can. Come on, let's go home. And they're going to get all over him in a way he doesn't like. And there's going to be some growling and some intense behavior. And then we're going to get through. Come here, let's stay out of the road. Icknick, come here, come on. I can hear them all squeaking right now. Come here, come on. Let's stay out of the road. The coyote was just right on our property line. You see the tracks. It was checking us out. And here's the howling beginning. I can hear the girls squeaking up a storm here. They make these sort of squeaking, peeping noises. Hey, let's go this way. Come on, let's go see our people. Ouch. Come on. So this is our property line here. And there's his unrequited girlfriend Loves, both of them going nutty. All right. So as I approach you, I'm going to put the camera away for a sec. You guys will be able to see everything, but I won't be able to see what you're saying. Come on, let's go home. He's like, no, I don't want to do that yet. Come on, let's go. Help me out. He's not super keen on walking between the cars sometimes. Come here. All right, I'm going to put you guys in my little chest pack here for a second. Yeah, I know. These girls are pretty intense right now. They're pretty flirty and intense. All right, so that's secure there. All right, come on, Nick, let's go see our people. So I got to get in a double gate, get around a vehicle here, and here's the girls. Come on, handsome. All right. Come on, Nick. So you'll see he's pretty willing to just come right in. And this is our airlock so that we can prevent escapes. We use a double gate, kind of like a spaceship. And the girls you're seeing there are the blackish one is Mooney. Takika is her actual name. It means moon. We call her Mooney. We also call her Mooney Badger, the angry weasel. She's small but mighty and surprises us with occasional, we call it a secret bitchy pants. Oops, sorry, I stepped on his toe. And then the one that's leaping here is Sunny. And come on, Nick, let's go. Come on, let's go. All right. And they're mobbing him, of course, which is just what I expected. And he's going to try to tell them to not mob him so much. And I'm just going to try to... And you can see the size difference. Hi, Sonny. Oh, gosh. Hi, Sonny. Hi, Mooney. I got to get mobbed and kisses, too, because that's the deal. And I'm going to just try to get him... Come on. Nick. Come on. It's tricky with the leash. Right. And I'm going to try to move him into the second airlock. Hey, all right, ladies. And this is, you're watching real life behavior and something very few people would ever do live on camera is this, right? Like, this is complex what I'm doing right now. Come here. Come on, Nick. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to just coax him into the second airlock without the girls. Come on. Come here. Just you. Come on. And I was able to do it. All right. And so in here, I'm going to take him off and then I'm going to let him get through the gate into the main habitat. Now you're going to hear the other animals. That's New Naryak, the puppy, who's making a lot of noise right there. Let's see here. That looks good. All right. And he's going to, what I'm going to make sure is that nobody comes through this gate while he comes through. It's a little tricky because I have a pack on, which makes me fat. All right, everybody. All right, Nick, come on. All right. And now we had no chaos. That's my version of no chaos, by the way. That is my version of no chaos. Hi, Kiwi. And now we've got the real boss. Kiwi, come on, don't pick a fight. Woo! And this is my Malamute Nepenthe. And Iknik is probably going to get a drink out of the pond. And that kind of wraps up a patrol. And I'm back home safe. And it's always, like I said, this what I'm doing is not without risk. Yeah, and he's getting a drink out of his pond. That's Noonie greeting me. He's happy to see me. Noonie, come here. Noonie. We call Noonie Moon because he's so... Oh, God, you're so silly. So Noonie here is 10 months old, and he's already almost as big as Iknik. All right. And with that, I am going to get on my little secure deck here. I'm going to get my Malamute in away from the boys, since she's also in heat. And I don't want anybody to decide that she should bear their puppies. Nepenthe, come on. Come here. Good girl. Kiwi, come on. Kiwi, come. It's time to feed animals dinner as well, so I'm going to bring a couple here onto the deck. Secure that. And she's going to try to open the door. She knows how to open doors. The Kiwi knows how to open doors. Moon memes. Yeah, that's why we're calling that one moon. That's funny because Mooney is definitely not a moon, but Noonie is a moon. That one, the one that made that rory howling noise, is a moon. He's so silly. He's just got a hilarious puppy brain. And then this is my old lady. Akutak here is almost 14. And she is the cousin of the animal actor that played Ghost on Game of Thrones. And so she looks exactly like that animal actor, only no red eyes, because that's BS. And she's very tall and skinny. Look at how long her legs are and how huge her feet are. Huh, Cuckoo? Carrie! Hi. And she loves me the most, this one. Don't you? Except for the Malamutes always love you the most. But yeah, guys. Well, white wolf, too bad you don't have a black or a tan one or a red one. Well, I do. I mean, Icknick is basically black. He was born jet black. Mooney is black. And then Sunny is your most typical gray. And Noonie is sort of a tawny gray. Those are all very normal colors. Right? And Noonie is asking for it with Icknick over there. And Cooey is... Oh, you guys are going to lick my glasses. Thank you. They always lick my glasses. Noonie. That's Noonie right there. I know they don't take no for an answer. They're pretty serious. And yes, they are big. The males are big, right? I mean, to give you sort of a size guide here real quick. So the dog right there, the black and white dog, is 80 pounds, right? So she's about as big as like a golden retriever or a German Shepherd. And then look at her next to, and this is my smallest wolf, my skinniest wolf, is my old lady. I mean, just look at the height difference, right? Look at the size of the feet. And she has, I mean, people look at my Malamute and they're like, she's just huge. Like, look at how big her feet are. And then you see these things. They're just like pie plates. Those are very big feet. Very big feet. So, guys, I am going to wrap this sucker up. We've been out here for quite a bit, and super appreciate y'all tuning in, asking good questions, engaging me on a patrol tonight. And I'm going to turn off my headlamp here, and we'll flip the camera around for just 1 second so you can see who's been narrating this sucker. Yes, I'm sure I look exactly like you expected. A gray-bearded mountain man with a headlamp. Something out of like Alone, right? Some of my buddies have done that show, by the way. And Les Stroud is also one of my acquaintances. So anyhow, with that, I'm going to thank you guys all for hanging out with me for an hour. Good night, Furrow. Love you, buddy. And yeah, we'll be live later. And again, if you want to support us, my book is The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. Would you do that show? The problem is I couldn't leave my animals for that long. I think I would do okay in that show. If they had a version of it where you could be out there with your wolves, I could stay out there for a very long time. Of course, my wife would probably be over it by then. But I really like those kind of shows. I think Alone is a really interesting show as far as those kind of shows go. Yeah, so if you want to support us, you can subscribe to the channel. For those of you that missed that little announcement, if you do, I will broadcast to you my contact information, and you're going to give me your address, and I'll mail you a gift. And also I can arrange to give you high-resolution images of the animals to a Dropbox folder just for you. My book is The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. There's a link to that in my profile. And there's also a link to my nonprofit, the Tahoe Wolf Center, and my online store, oliverthewolfguy.com. And I have some fun merch there if you're into that sort of thing. So with that, I am going to say howls, which is how I say goodnight. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you soon.